Welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about the very best comic books you can buy this week. And it wasn't a great week, just to be honest. We've only got 5 comic books to talk about, but we do want to go in depth on The Flash from Jeremy Adams. And who's going to do that with me? Obviously, Drew from Comic Slate. How you doing, Drew?
Doing great, Wes. Yeah, let's talk about one of the shinier examples of great comics from DC Comics. So let's talk about The Flash.
Well, it's crazy what Jeremy Adams has been able to do with the character. He's never really written comic books before. He mostly did animation and writing for television and stuff like that. And he embraced Wally West, was able to save him from the purgatory that Tom King had placed the character in when he ruined him in Heroes in Crisis. They tried to rescue the character multiple times since then. Jeremy Adams finally does it. The sales are rising on the series. The notoriety is out there. People are finally realizing it's great. Now we find out you get kicked in the nuts. Flash 800 is the last issue that he's going to be writing on it. It's like, what are DC Comics thinking? There are only so many great series that they have out right now. I can only think of The Flash, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, and that's about it.
And the Deadly Duo, Batman, Joker, Deadly Duo. That's the 3.
Yeah, that's not a series. It's a mini-series, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, two really good, solid, ongoing series right now. And like you had just said, Tom King pretty much effectively destroyed Wally West from Heroes in Crisis. And they've done everything they can to bring back that character to his heroic roots. And on top of that, you had Future State. Don't forget Future State, where they turned Wally back into a murderer again.
Yes.
Right after that. But
after
yeah,
Flash Forward.
Yeah, Flash Forward. Yeah, and Jeremy Adams, he had his back up against the wall trying to resuscitate life into this character and his family. And he did that. He really made Wally and his family a bright, shining beacon of positivity. And he brought a fun, bright story to this. You know, I actually enjoyed, I was smiling reading about his family life, the kids, Wally in his travels. It was a great, and he had great artists too on The Flash. And it's a shame that it's all coming to an end with Cy Spurrier later this year and his dark horror roots he's bringing to the comic.
It's just a strange take on the character, and just what Jeremy Adams has done, especially with the art. You mentioned that the art's been really good, but it's the coloring on it. It's so vibrant, it's alive, it's hopeful, it's everything you want from a DC comic book. This is what separates DC Comics from Marvel Comics. It's the hopeful nature of the heroes, the aspirational nature of all the heroes that they have. Marvel's, just a little bit darker. It's always a little bit more bleak. And it's been bleeding over into DC Comics for like a decade now. And finally we get something that truly feels like a DC comic, and everybody should be supporting this book. If you don't believe me, just go out there and grab you an issue. You're going to find out this is the best comic book that you haven't been reading for about 2.5 years now. And we need to support great comic book writers like Jeremy Adams that are actually doing the stuff that we want. I know a lot of people are gun shy right now, like, well, maybe I'll just read Batman and sit back until DC fixes it. Well, DC's never going to fix themselves if you don't support the great books like The Flash and let them know this is what we actually want to read.
Yeah, and you brought up fixing themselves. We saw the release statements of books that are coming out later this year. I'm not seeing much of repairing, going on here. It's like, what are you guys doing right now? This is not if you want to return back to basics, this is not how you do it. So, I'm cautiously, quote unquote, optimistic about Cy Spurrier's run with Mike Deodato. I think Mike Deodato may be the best part of that series.
Absolutely.
But be cautiously optimistic, but really go back and read Jeremy Adams' run. My favorite part of that run was the Gym World stuff. When you go back and fight, I think Eclipso's infected everyone. Great story. Please do check that out, guys.
And right now we're in the middle of 1 Minute War. We're going to talk about Flash 794 from Jeremy Adams and Roger Cruz that came out this week. It's definitely a recommend. It's an excellent comic book, and this one doesn't even really concentrate on Flash. It concentrates on his daughter Irie and her ascension to kind of meeting the challenge and becoming a hero in her own right. She gets her own hero name. I don't exactly think it was a good idea to make something that sounds so much like Ironheart, but hey, I'll give Jeremy Adams a pass on that one because he's done so many other good things. But he highlighted the characters so well. The Flash family tried to take on the Fraction. It didn't work out well. We've got one major character that's imprisoned. We've got another one that we believe is dead, and he was able to kind of take your mind off of that with this really cool adventure with Irie facing, Miss Murder.
My favorite part of this, because I'm an old school Golden Age superhero fan, was the very end of this with Jay Garrick. I'm loving what could be happening in the next issue with Jay Garrick. So good to see him have his moment. All their characters are having their moments in this arc, which is great. So yeah, like you said, the daughter had her moment in this issue. So I think in the next issue, that's going to be time for our golden agers to have their moments. Hopefully Max Mercury and Jay will be able to shine. But yeah, Jeremy, it's a very delicate balancing act he's doing here with all of these Flash characters, and he's doing it as best he can. And compared to everything else at DC, he's doing a damn good job.
Yeah, definitely check that one out. We'll get back to DC here in a moment. Let's talk about the indie comic books we think people should be reading. We've only got 2 this week. We were in unanimous agreement on this. We're recommending Rogue Sun number 11 from Image Comics. Ryan Parrott writing, Abel on art. Ryan Parrott's probably the best writer in the industry that's not working for DC or Marvel, and I don't think he's ever worked for them. This is a really great coming-of-age series about a young superhero coming into his own, but I really like the way that Ryan Parrott's handling it, where he has 2 distinct journeys. He's got his superhero journey as Rogue Sun, and then he's got his teenager journey as Dylan. He's succeeding as Rogue Sun. He's getting better. He's overcoming the odds, but he is absolutely failing as Dylan. He's letting his friends down. He's not very reliable. And I really like the weird dichotomy where he's going to have to realize, I can't just succeed in one area of my life. I need to actually succeed everywhere.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier in the Flash run, it's a balancing act. It's very much, if you go back and read those original Spider-Man stories by Ditko and Lee, it's Peter Parker trying to balance that act, a balancing act of being Peter Parker, being Spider-Man, with their school life, job, and everything else. It's difficult, and our hero Dylan is learning that. He, like you said, succeeding in one area, he's really failing in another. In the area he's failing in, it looks like someone may be coming out for some revenge against him and his friends at the very end of this issue, which is really, really damn good. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Ryan Parrott is a terrific writer. Great stuff he did on Power Rangers. This is a great series he's doing here. This is the best of the Kyle Higgins Radiant universe he's doing. Please do check this out, guys. It is a true hero's journey here with this book.
Yep. If you like old school Spider-Man, like in the beginning when he was a teenager, this is the series for you. It's obviously updated for modern time. Absolutely fantastic. From Mad Cave Studios, we're recommending Tales from Nottingham number 2. Anna Everett's writing, Gabrielle Serra on art here. Normally, it's been David Hazan writing and Shane Connery-Volk illustrating this, so it's the first time we have a new creative team. And it still feels like it's within the Nottingham universe, which is absolutely brilliant. We get a lot of backstory on this character, Reynard, who's really one of the big villains in the story, and he comes off as much more diabolical and evil once you realize where he came from and just the kind of person that he is, what he's willing to kill over, and all of those things. And I was shocked, without having David Hazan writing this, that it came across so well and it fits so well in the universe. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the art. Shane Connery-Volk has just been destroying it on the art. It's got a really unique style to it. And unfortunately, the art doesn't quite live up to the original series. But the character exploration is absolutely fantastic.
His art is pretty much one of the big selling points of the book. It's very original, very unique. You see it immediately when you notice it. But like the art is pretty much, I don't want to say it's kind of paint by numbers. It gets the job done. It's not great. It's not bad. It's okay. And because it's really with this series, effectively Tales from Nottingham, they're all one and done stories about different characters that we've been following through the last 2 volumes. And this one was really damn good, really action packed. It was a kick-ass issue. It was a big old manhunt. And when one of the characters in this, he was kind of hinting and teasing us something, giving away a big clue to one of our heroes we're following. Hey, this is going on. He didn't believe him. And yeah, it gets very dark and bloody at the very end of this. I really love this issue. Yeah, almost every single issue, even the tales of, have been fantastic, have been great reads. Please do check out Tales from Nottingham, guys. This is a truly original take on Robin Hood and the mythology of that.
Yeah, I was highly skeptical when I found out the original team wasn't going to be a part of this issue particularly, and they have proved me wrong. Absolutely worth your time and money. The story is fantastic. If you're invested within this universe, you need to read that issue. Let's go over to Marvel Comics. We have one comic book to recommend. Moon Knight 21 this week. Jed MacKay, Alessandro Cappuccio. The art once again rises up and is carrying the series for me. But we are getting introduced to something interesting that's kind of new. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's kind of tying back to something that had happened before. A couple of Moon Knight's acquaintances decide to go out on a night on his town because they want to, just have a little bit of fun because they've been run through the ringer with everything that's going on with Moon Knight. All of a sudden, the DJ starts playing this song, and everyone starts coming like under hypnosis or something like that. And we've got a new villain that's very mysterious, don't know a whole lot about him, that is going to be coming for Moon Knight and his team soon.
This is another series where the art is really unique and stands alone as its own. Yeah, Alessandro Cappuccio, terrific artist. I think this guy's going to be getting some more mainline gigs in probably next year or so. He's a very unique artist. It's terrific. Yeah, this one was very fast paced. It was pretty action packed. You don't really know where it's going to go because, like you said, they go dancing and everything, but then it takes a nice little twist right around the midway point. And it's a very fun issue and a very down week for Marvel. This clearly stood out as one of the good ones for Marvel. Please do check out Moon Knight, guys.
Yes, if you're at your comic book shop and you see Moon Knight and you see Avengers, don't read Avengers. Go read Moon Knight. If you don't believe me, Doc and I are going to talk about Avengers 66 on Monday. My goodness.
So bad.
I won't even think about it anymore. Let's move on to DC Comics. We actually ended up having 2 DC recommends. Besides recommending The Flash, we're recommending Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, #5. Marc Silvestri writing and illustrating. Another artist that's very distinct in his style here. The line work is absolutely spectacular. The illustrations are peerless. And we actually get Batman doing a lot of detective work in here. Kind of the old school Batman where he's kind of talking himself through the mystery, sometimes interacting with other people, bouncing his ideas off, learning how to unravel what's going on here. There is a little bit of action, but mostly this is a character study in seeing what a great detective Batman is.
Yeah, and this issue, I think this one was truly the horror issue of the series so far. I mean, we learned the truth behind Sims, his company, the formula he made, and the ramifications it has caused, and it ain't pretty. By the time you get to the end of this issue, you will be saying, what the hell did I just read? Because there's a couple moments toward the end of the issue. It's like,
there's a reveal that you will not see coming.
No, we will not. It's like, what is going on here? The art, the pacing, the horror, the dialogue, the action is all top notch here by Marc Silvestri. Once again, writing and drawing duties. Every issue has been a knockout, and this one is just a knockout as the other ones. Once again, I'll say for the cheap seats, this is the Batman series right now. Even though it's a miniseries, it's not an ongoing, this is the Batman series right now. If you're not reading this, you are wrong. Strongest recommends this week from me for Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, #5.
And the good thing is there's 2 more issues to this, because if they drop that cliffhanger, that reveal at like the penultimate issue and they only had 1 issue to wrap it up, it would be impossible. They've got some stuff to fit together to make that story make a lot of sense and to make it kind of work within the confines of what they were telling. But absolutely amazing stuff. Drew, I do want to say thank you very much for joining me, talking about the best comic books of the week. And obviously we're talking about in depth The Flash, kind of going away, the wonderful work that Jeremy Adams has done.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on here. Yeah, any chance we get to talk about great comics, I'll gladly talk about great comics, including Jeremy Adams' Flash run. If
you enjoyed the video and you're like, hey, that wasn't quite enough, I would like some more Thinking Critical. Thankfully, YouTube has looked at the videos you like to watch and the videos that I've created and decided this is the next video for you. If you want some more Thinking Critical comic book talk, definitely check this one out right now.